Before the stars were hung and time began its gentle dance, there was a whisper in the chambers of eternity, a whisper that spoke your name. And today, that same voice reaches through the veil between worlds to tell you something that will shake the very foundation of everything you thought you knew about connection, about love, about the invisible threads that bind two souls together even when distance and silence try to separate them. If you've been feeling that inexplicable pull, that sense that someone's been thinking of you in ways that transcend the ordinary, that strange knowing in your heart that refuses to be silenced by logic or time, then what I'm about to share with you is not a coincidence. You were meant to hear this message today. Stay with me, because what heaven is revealing right now about the dream they had of you will change everything you've been wondering about. And if this message finds you exactly when you need it most, consider staying connected to these divine messages by subscribing, because the angels have been very clear that you are entering a season where the veil is thinner than ever before. Something extraordinary happened in the unseen realm while you were going about your daily life. Perhaps feeling forgotten, perhaps wondering if the connection you felt so deeply was only yours to carry. While you were questioning whether they still think of you, whether you still matter in their world, whether the bond you shared has dissolved into nothing more than memory, heaven was orchestrating something profound. They saw you again. But this wasn't just any ordinary dream. This wasn't a mind's random filing of information, or the subconscious processing the day's events. This was something else entirely. This was a visitation, a divine appointment arranged by forces that understand the language of souls far better than we understand the language of words. The angels want you to know that when someone appears in your dreams with the kind of clarity and emotional intensity that lingers long after waking, it's because their soul has traveled to meet yours in that sacred space between worlds. Dreams are not just a playground of our unconscious minds. They are meeting grounds, conference rooms of the spirit, places where truth speaks without the filters of ego and fear and pride. And when they dreamed of you this time, something shifted. The message carried in that dream is unlike anything that has come before, and heaven has given me very specific instructions about what you need to understand about what this means for both of you and for the path that lies ahead. You see, there are different kinds of dreams. There are the dreams born from longing, where we conjure faces we miss because our hearts ache for their presence. They're the dreams born from unfinished business, where unspoken words float to the corridors of sleep, seeking resolution. They're the dreams born from guilt or regret, where the soul tries to rewrite history or seek forgiveness. But then there are the dreams sent by divine orchestration, dreams that carry messages too important to be communicated through the noise and distraction of waking life. These are the dreams where every detail matters, where the emotions are so vivid they feel more real than reality itself, where you wake up and the presence of that person lingers in your space, like they were actually there. This recent dream they had of you falls into this last category. And the angels are saying that you probably felt it too. You probably woke up on that same night or around that same time feeling different, feeling something shift in the energy around you, perhaps thinking of them without understanding why. This is because true soul connections operate on frequencies that bypass time and space. When their spirit reached out to yours in that dream state, your spirit responded. This is the invisible conversation that has been happening beneath all the silence, beneath all the unanswered questions, beneath everything that appears to be separation. But here is what makes this particular dream so significant, what makes this moment so crucial for you to understand. In this dream, they didn't just see you as you were. They saw you as you are becoming. They saw the transformation that has been taking place in you during this time of distance. They saw the strength you've built from walking alone. They saw the light that has been growing brighter in you as you've done the inner work of healing and becoming whole within yourself. And this terrified them and attracted them in equal measure, because suddenly they were confronted with a truth they've been running from. The truth that you are not waiting for them to complete you. The truth that you have been evolving into a version of yourself that doesn't need them to feel whole, but could choose them from a place of wholeness. And that changes everything. Heaven is showing me that in this dream, they saw you surrounded by light. This might have manifested in the dream symbolically. Perhaps you were in a beautiful place. Perhaps you were glowing. Perhaps you were at peace in a way that shocked them because they remember you differently. They remember you in pain. Perhaps they remember you reaching. Perhaps they remember you in need. Perhaps. But in this dream, you were none of those things. You were radiant. You were complete. You were whole. And the message their soul received in that moment was clear as crystal, even if their conscious mind doesn't yet understand it. They are running out of time to make a choice about you. If you're feeling this truth resonating deep in your spirit right now, I want you to do something for me. I want to type the words "I am becoming" in the comments below, because this is not just about being seen in someone's dream. This is about being seen for who you truly are, who you have always been beneath the layers of hurt and doubt, and who you are courageously becoming every single day you choose yourself. The universe is watching your declaration, and your words carry creative power. Now, let me take you deeper into what the angels are revealing about the specific energy of this dream and why it happened now, at this exact moment in your journey. There is something called divine timing, and while we as humans often become frustrated with it, demanding answers and resolutions according to our own schedules, the spiritual realm operates on a timeline that takes into account factors we cannot see. This dream came to them now because you have finally reached a threshold. You have finally stepped into a version of yourself that needed to be activated before the next chapter could begin. You see, if they had come back before you did this inner work, before you built this foundation of self-worth and self-love, the relationship would have repeated the same painful patterns. But now, everything is different. Now, you meet them as an equal, not as someone seeking completion from them. The angels are also showing me that this dream contained a very specific message for them, one that bypassed their conscious resistance and spoke directly to their soul. In the dream, you were not chasing them. You were not asking them for anything. You were simply being yourself, radiantly and completely. And this created a magnetic pull so strong that they woke up feeling disoriented, feeling like something essential was missing from their life, feeling that ache of absence that you've been carrying for so long. The tables have turned, but not through manipulation or games. The tables have turned through your genuine transformation, through your authentic journey back to yourself. And this is the kind of shift that cannot be undone. Heaven wants you to understand that they are now in the same position you were in months ago, or however long it's been since the distance began. They are now wondering if they matter to you. They are now questioning if the connection still exists. They are now feeling the hollow space where your energy used to be, and they don't like it. But more importantly, they are now being confronted with a choice that has eternal ramifications, and their soul knows it even if their ego fights it. The choice is this: evolve to meet you where you are now, or lose you forever. And forever is not a dramatic exaggeration. It is a spiritual reality. Because some doors once closed do not reopen in the same way. Some seasons once passed do not return. The message that heaven is delivering through this dream is essentially a wake-up call, a final alarm before the divine window begins to close. You see, the universe is protective of those who have done the work to heal and grow. The universe does not allow people who are transformed through pain and perseverance to be pulled back into situations that will diminish that transformation. So while there is still a door open, while there is still a possibility for them to step through and meet you in this new space, that door is not going to remain open indefinitely. And their soul knows this. The dream was a warning as much as it was a visitation. A warning that time is not infinite, that opportunities for connection are not guaranteed, that the soul they saw in that dream is not going to wait in limbo forever. I want you to really sit with this for a moment, because this is important for your own peace and understanding. You are not waiting anymore in the way you were before. You might still care. You might still hold space for the possibility of reconnection. You might still feel love for them, but you are no longer waiting in a way that puts your life on hold. You are no longer waiting in a way that makes you unavailable to your own joy and growth. You are waiting the way a queen waits, knowing her worth, clear about her standards, open to love but not desperate for it. And this is precisely the energy that triggered such a powerful dream on their end. Your freedom is magnetic. Your wholeness is attractive. Your peace is powerful. Now, the angels are giving me very specific guidance about what you should do with this information, about how you should move forward knowing that they dreamed of you with such intensity. And the guidance might surprise you because it goes against what the wounded part of you might want to do. The guidance is this: do nothing. Say nothing. Change nothing in your external behavior. This is not the time to reach out. This is not the time to break silence. This is not the time to give them confirmation of what they're feeling or wondering. This is the time to trust. This is the time to allow divine orchestration to continue its work without your interference. This is a time to remain in your power and your peace, knowing that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what is not meant for you is a blessing to release. You see, their dream was meant to activate something in them, not to trigger a response from you. If you respond now, if you make it easier for them, if you do the work that their soul needs to do, you'll actually interrupt the very process that heaven has set in motion. They need to sit with what they felt. They need to marinate in the recognition of what they're losing. They need to wrestle with their own fear and pride and resistance until they make a clear choice from their own free will. Not because you convinced them or chased them or gave them an easy way back. A connection that is divinely orchestrated doesn't need your manipulation or strategy. It needs your surrender and your trust. But I also know this is hard. I know there's a part of you that heard this message and immediately wanted to take action, wanted to speed things up, wanted to make something happen. That's the human part of you, the part that's been in pain, the part that's tired of waiting, the part that just wants resolution. And that part deserves compassion. But the divine part of you, the part that's been growing stronger through this entire journey, that part knows that the best action is stillness. That part knows that real love, real connection, real commitment doesn't need to be forced or manipulated into existence. It emerges naturally when two people have done their individual work and are ready to meet as whole beings. The angels are also giving me a very clear message about what's happening in the realm of spirit as we speak. There's a battle taking place for their soul's direction, a tug of war between fear and love, between ego and spirit, between the comfortable known and the vulnerable unknown. Every soul that incarnates on earth as guides and angels assigned to help them fulfill their highest purpose and experience their greatest lessons. And right now, their guides are working overtime to help them see what their dream revealed. But they also have free will. They also have wounds and conditioning and fears that cloud their perception. So while heaven is orchestrating circumstances and sending signs and arranging dreams, the final choice remains theirs to make. And this is where your faith is being called to a higher level. This is where you're being asked to truly trust that if this connection is divinely ordained, nothing can prevent it from manifesting. And if it's not, nothing you do can force it into being, and more importantly, you wouldn't want to. Because a connection that requires convincing, that requires you to diminish yourself or beg for space, that requires you to carry all the weight of making it work, that's not a blessing. That's a burden. And you've grown too much, healed too much, evolved too much to accept burdens disguised as blessings. Heaven is asking you to hold a very specific energy as you move forward from here. Not the energy of waiting desperately, not the energy of closing off and building walls, but the energy of open-hearted readiness. The energy of someone who has done their healing work and is available for love, but not incomplete without it. The energy of someone who trusts divine timing even when it's uncomfortable. The energy of someone who knows their worth and won't settle for less than they deserve. This is the energy that keeps the door open while also protecting your peace. This is the energy that allows miracles to unfold while also allowing you to live fully in the present moment. And speaking of miracles, let me tell you what else the angels are revealing. This dream they had of you is only the beginning. This is the first domino in a series of events that are about to unfold. You're going to start noticing more signs, more synchronicities, more confirmations that something is moving in the invisible realm. You might see their name everywhere. You might hear songs that remind you of them at exactly the right moments. You might encounter people or situations that mirror your connection in ways that feel too specific to be random. All of these are confirmations that the spiritual realm is orchestrating something, preparing something, aligning something. Your job is not to control the process. Your job is to stay aligned with your highest self, to keep choosing love over fear, to keep choosing growth over comfort, to keep choosing faith over doubt. Now, I want to address something that some of you might be feeling right now. Some of you might be thinking, but what if they don't choose me? What if the dream doesn't lead to anything? What if I'm just setting myself up for more disappointment? And those are valid fears, protective mechanisms your heart has developed to shield you from more pain. But here's what heaven wants you to know. You cannot lose what is meant for you. And if someone doesn't choose you after all of this, after seeing who you truly are, after being given divine signs and opportunities, then them not choosing you is a universe protecting you from settling for less than you deserve. It's that simple and that profound. The right person won't need to be convinced of your value. The right person won't need multiple chances and years of patience to recognize what they have. The right person will see you the way you were seen in that dream, radiant and whole and beautiful, and they will move heaven and earth honor that vision with their actions. So either this person rises to meet you where you are, or someone else who is truly ready will enter your life. Either way, you win. Either way, you are loved by the universe. Either way, your transformation was not in vain. The angels want to emphasize this point because so many beautiful souls diminish their own growth by fearing the loss of one specific person or outcome. Your growth is never wasted. Your healing is never in vain. Who you become through this journey is your permanent treasure, regardless of what happens with anyone else. You are not the same person you were when this story began. You are stronger, wiser, more connected to your divine nature. You understand yourself better. You know your worth more clearly. You've developed spiritual muscles you didn't have before. And all of this comes with you into every future experience, every future relationship, every future chapter. So you've already won in the most important way. But I also want to honor the hope you're feeling, because hope is not weakness. Hope is not naivety. Hope is a spiritual force, a declaration of faith in benevolent possibilities. So yes, hope that this dream leads somewhere. Hope that they wake up fully to what they saw. Hope that the connection you feel is real and mutual and destined for beautiful manifestation. Just don't make your present happiness dependent on that one specific outcome. Hold hope in one hand and peace in the other, and walk forward with both. The message that heaven is sending through me to you today is ultimately this. You are seen. You are valued. You are loved beyond measure by the divine forces that orchestrated your existence. You have not been forgotten. Your prayers have not gone unheard. Your tears have not been in vain. Everything you've been through has been preparation for what comes next. And what comes next is going to surprise you in the most beautiful ways. Whether it looks exactly like you imagined or even better than you dare to dream. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. And most importantly, trust the love that the universe has for you. A love so fierce and so intentional that it arranges dreams across the veil just to remind two souls that they matter to each other. As we come to the close of this message, I want you to place your hand on your heart and take a deep breath. Feel the strength there. Feel the resilience. Feel the divine spark that has carried you through everything and continues to guide you forward. You are not who you were. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. And that person, that radiant being that they saw in their dream, that's not a future version of you. That's you right now. That's who you already are when you strip away the doubt and the fear and the wounds. That's your truth. And the more you step into that truth, the more the external world will rearrange itself to reflect it. If this message has touched something deep within you, if you felt that resonance that tells you this was meant for your soul today, let the universe know by leaving your light here, by subscribing to continue receiving these divine messages, because the angels have made it clear that this is only one chapter in a much larger story they're eager to share with you. The next message is already being downloaded, already being prepared, and it contains revelations about what happens after the dream, about the choices being made in the unseen realm right now, about the beautiful surprises that are being arranged for your life even as you listen to these words. So don't leave this journey unfinished. Stay connected to the divine guidance that has found you today, because you deserve to know how the story unfolds, and heaven is ready to show you. Thank you for being here, for being brave enough to hope, strong enough to heal, and open enough to receive. Until the next message finds you, walk in the knowing that you are deeply, infinitely, eternally loved.